Good morning, and welcome to the virtual worship service of the Unitarian Universalist Meeting House of Provincetown, where we affirm the inherent worth and dignity of every person, and where we support each other in our spiritual search for truth and meaning. My name is Reverend Kate Wilkinson, and I'm so glad that you have joined us for our worship service this week, Wake Now, My Senses. That's actually the name of one of my favorite hymns in our hymnal, and I have a funny story about it that I will share with you later. But first, do you remember what the 5 senses are? We learned these back in school, and most of us experience each of them every day, but sometimes we forget to be aware of them and what a gift each of them really are. Let's see if we can wake our senses this morning by exploring sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell. We'll do this through poetry and videos and really just becoming present to the moment by paying attention. In The Places We Go to Be Here, Vanessa Zusi Goddard writes, "When we immerse ourselves in a moment and meet it in its suchness or wholeness, whether through prayer or meditation or through more profane activities like doing laundry or having a cup of tea, all of time gets folded into a single point, now." So let's tap into our 5 senses this morning as an exercise in becoming present, truly experiencing the world around us, and being a little more grateful for all the gifts in our lives, even as we navigate a pretty tough time. And now, as I light our chalice here in the Meeting House Sanctuary, I invite you to light a candle wherever you are. In that way, we can feel connected, even while we are apart.
Glory be to the earth and the wind. Glory be to the sun and the rain. Glory be to the animals and the children. Glory be to our holy flame which calls us together as one.
Love is the spirit of our meeting house. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth with love, and to help one another.
Spirit of life, come to me, sing in my heart all stirrings of compassion, blow in the winds, rise in the sea, move in the shape of justice, roots hold me close.
Our first reading this morning is by Elizabeth Tarbox. It's called Letting Go. And this morning I invite you to let go of whatever it is that you are carrying, whatever is weighing on you, whatever you have to do when this service is over. Try to let go for just half an hour. Settle into your chair or couch. Breathe a little deeper. Become a little more present to the words and images, sights and sounds of our time together. Letting go. I went to the beach and it was soft today. Temperate hues merging and separating, clouds and ocean reflecting, complementing each other. And far away, an occasional beam from the Gurnet light. Oh, let me touch the faces of those I love with the same gentleness the waves show to the shore. Let me sing my song with the same feeling with which the gulls fill the sacred space of sea and sky. Let me learn of beauty from the affection of morning sunlight. Let my sorrow learn to meld with the tinted clouds. Let my joy learn to swim and fly and fill the dawn with my delight. And when my body is tired and no longer wants to be a part of the active life, then let it be from here that my soul flies free. I really miss singing hymns together. Do you? This morning I'm going to invite you to join me in singing the hymn that I've named today's service after, Wake Now My Senses. Now, back in 2009, when I was ordained at the Arlington Street Church, I chose this hymn to be part of the service. Lots of ministers choose this one for their ordination because the lyrics are really perfect, especially the last two verses. Now, most hymns have 3 verses. Have you noticed that? But this one has 5. Well, the pianist at my ordination only played 3. But the ministers in the crowd, who were all seated right at the front, knew that I had picked this hymn for the last 2 verses. So when the piano stopped after the 3rd verse, they kept going. The pianist quickly joined in for another verse. But when she stopped again after the 4th verse, the ministers kept going again, singing a cappella. It was actually one of my very favorite moments from the service. So please join me now in singing Wake Now My Senses, and feel free to really sing out on the last 2 verses.
Wake now my senses and hear the earth call. Feel the deep power of being in all. Keep with the web of creation your vow. Giving, receiving, as love shows us how. Wake now, my reason. Wake now, compassion, give heed to the cry. Voices of suffering fill the wide sky. Take as your neighbor both stranger and friend, praying and striving their hardship to end. Wake now, my conscience, with justice thy guide. Join with all people whose rights are denied. Take not for granted a privileged place. God's love embraces the whole human race. Wake now, my vision of ministry clear. Brighten my pathway with radiance here. Mingle my calling with all who will share. Work toward a planet transformed by our care.
So now we engage in the spiritual practice of waking our senses. The first of our 5 senses is our sight. I'm so grateful for the poets that I'm drawing on this morning because they always help me to see with new eyes through their words. Mary Oliver's poetry has helped me to appreciate and pay attention to the woods and ponds and beaches of Provincetown with renewed gratitude for each sight. So we begin with her poem, The Summer Day. The Summer Day by Mary Oliver. Who made the world? Who made the swan and the black bear? Who made the grasshopper? This grasshopper, I mean, the one who has flung herself out on the grass, the one who is eating sugar out of my hand, who's moving her jaws back and forth instead of up and down, who is gazing around with her enormous and complicated eyes. Now she lifts her pale forearms and thoroughly washes her face. Now she snaps her wings open and floats away. I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel in the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I have been doing all day. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? As we explore sound, I offer you 2 poems this morning. We'll also be transported to Tracy's backyard in Provincetown, where she perfectly captures the sound of a bee's wings in slow motion. And here is an invitation to step out your door after this service and just close your eyes and listen. The sound of summer, by David Budbill. The screened door slamming tells me it's summer. There are other sounds only in the summer too. The hummingbird moving from feeder to feeder on the porch. Chickadee's two-note song we hear early on summer mornings. Ravens croaking back to their eyries on the ledges every summer evening. There are other birds too, visitors we hear only in the summertime. But it's the screen door slamming that is the definition of summer for me. The Bee by Emily Dickinson. Like trains of cars on tracks of plush, I hear the level bee. Ajar across the flowers goes their velvet masonry, withstands until the sweet assault their chivalry consumes, while he, victorious, tilts away to vanquish other blooms. His feet are shod with gauze, his helmet is of gold, his breast a single onyx with chrysoprase inlaid. His labor is a chant, his idleness a tune. Oh, for a bee's experience of clovers and of noon. At our first Vespers service a few weeks ago, I shared a new word with you that distills the smell of rain into spoken language. I share it with you again today as we explore our sense of smell. And of course, it overlaps with sound and even touch. Did you ever realize that you were getting touched by a raindrop? Feel the firm caress of a rainstorm? The singer Bob Marley once said, "Some of us feel the rain, and some of us just get wet." So let's feel and hear and smell the rain together now. Petrichor by Kathleen Bruin Lewis. Petrichor. Two geologists made this word from the Greek petros for stone and ichor for the liquid that flows through the veins of the gods. They wanted to name the scent of parched earth after fresh rain, the reconstituted redolence of salted silt marbled with terracotta. This old, dry world brought back to loamy life, another name for mercy.
Blessed water, keep on flowing, flowing. Fill this world with gentle waves of healing. Cleanse the earth, drench our souls with precious love. Blessed water, holy water, heal our world. Blessed water, keep on flowing, flowing. Fill this world with gentle waves of healing. Cleanse the earth, drench our souls with precious love. Blessed water, holy water, blessed water, blessed water. Blessed water, keep on flowing, flowing. Fill this world with gentle waves of healing. Cleanse the earth, drench our souls with precious love. Blessed water, holy water, heal our world.
We turn now to touch, and how touch can often be an expression of love. It doesn't have to be romantic love. It can be a friend's bear hug, holding the hand of someone who's dying, a mother combing her daughter's hair. For our meditation on touch, I thank my sister and my niece. But first, How to Comb Someone's Hair by Uma Dwivedi. The first step is to love someone who will let you touch their hair. This is very important and cannot be avoided. Next, to find them one day in their kitchen, shoulders so tense that you think of cliff sides taut with stone. So you take them by the hand, pull them to their living room, and sit them on the floor in front of their couch. The couch is soft with love, easy and giving as water. You go to their bathroom and fetch their comb from the coffee mug by the sink. You take a seat, place the comb under your right thigh, then you tuck their shoulders between your knees, take out hairpins if they're wearing any, gently tug out rubber bands or hair ties or anything else pulling their hair tight from their skull. Don't start yet with the comb. First, you must run your fingers through their hair, careful, so careful not to catch painfully on any snag or tangle. You whisper your fingers through. Flicker them softly when you encounter a knot. Do your best to pull it apart without yanking at the root. It's not always possible. If you must cause some pain, as sometimes you must, give them a warning. A soft, murmured, "Sorry," will suffice. Consider coconut oil, warmed between your palms, soaked into the roots of their hair like fresh rainfall, pulled lovingly through each strand. When their hair seems softer, their shoulders slacker, the muscles of their neck less prominent and stiff like a royal guard. It's time to take out the comb. Here too you must be gentle. Work slowly, methodically, right to left or left to right, starting always at the root. Move slow and sure where there is a tangle. Brace the comb against your hand whenever possible so as to spare their scalp. Do this for some time. Silence is like fresh snow settling on the lonely earth, the shuffle of snowflakes as you work through another snare, the thick, dappled comb glinting with lamplight. Even so, they might speak, and you must listen, responding in a low, warm voice whenever appropriate. This is love, you know. This is how you must learn to love, with the patience to sit for however long it takes, the bones in your seat going blunt and numb, your muscles filling with relentless thrum. Pull the comb through the same section of their hair until it travels smooth and easy and shines with your still effort. You will do this again. You will do this for every section, every strand. You will sit until the work is done. And then you will press a kiss to the top of their head. You will squeeze their shoulders and let them walk away. Our senses bring us fully into this moment, but they also transport us into the past. Our taste buds remember, and it is like a time machine. Suddenly we are 5 or 9 or 25 again. Suddenly we are surrounded by our dead grandparents, our old house. Our fondest memories come to life. Poet Catherine Regal calls sugar snap peas memory bites for how they transport her to the farm where she lived when she was 10. This morning I offer the words of another poet, Penny Harder, who dedicates this poem to her mother. And afterward, we'll experience the utter joy of a 2-year-old experiencing peas for the first time, my friend Megan's son, Jesse. Shelling Peas by Penny Harder. We're shelling peas, gently rocking on the swing that hangs on chains from the roof of the porch at my grandparents' house. I'm 4 years old, wedged between Mother and Nana, singing as we swing. I balance a metal pot on my knees as peas rattle into it from their nimble hands. Newly picked from the garden out back, the pods are still warm from the sun. I take pleasure in the sudden give along each seam, the stream of peas into my waiting palm. Now and then I eat a handful, sweet bitter on my tongue, savoring their rawness, the scent of earth, the mystery of taste revealed as I crunch their round, hard bodies. Feet not touching the floor, eyes even with the lattice work under the porch railing, I sway and dream in the shifting light and shade of a long summer afternoon. The owl and the pussycat went to sea in a beautiful pea-green boat, my mother recites to me at bedtime, her weight on my side of the bed, her voice almost chanting this poem she has loved since childhood. A blessing in my mouth, those pale, hard peas, which I taste even now as I chew on this memory, hungry for a pea-green boat I might go out to sea in, trawling for light among the watery stars.
Like tiny balls.
Yeah.
Open it and there's tiny beans. And then you squeeze them. And then you can open them. And then you can pull peas out.
Yeah. Let's see. Have you found any peas yet?
That one is
Like this?
like that one.
Yeah. And you were getting some.
And then you go with that one.
Wow.
With that one. Oh, that one.
Oh, yeah, that one we took it out already. But yeah, it's really cool. It's like
Real
you know.
cool. My that one has peas.
yeah,
Then
look.
you open.
Oh, these ones aren't. These are too small. Do you have bigger ones? Oh, there's some. Some are big and some are small. We haven't really figured out.
Eating them.
Yeah, that's the best part.
That one is the peel part.
The peel part you can also eat, but the inside is really cool. It's the sweet
But
peas.
that one.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
There's one pea. Nice. Oh, it jumped.
And there's
jumped.
one in there.
Oh, look at that.
I'm gonna.
Oh, there it is. Oh, but it jumped. It jumped. Oh, wow.
Oh wow.
Thank you for joining me today on a journey of the senses. I hope you feel a little more present, a little more awake to this moment and to our beautiful world, to all the sights, sounds, feelings, smells, and tastes of summer. Don't forget that invitation to go outside, close your eyes, and listen.